So I'm going to do a quick one this evening. I always say that and then waffle on for a long time, but I'm hoping to make it a quick one. I've finished my deer. Feels like it's been going on forever, I have to say. I haven't been exactly quick and, been doing lots of other collages as well. So now I'm ready to basically peel this all off. So I'm just going to do my usual fingers under. Look, I've already found I've got a hole there where I haven't got anything in there. Can you see my finger? Yes. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there before we go any further. Bear with me. See something, find something that won't look really silly. Just got a bit here, so I'm just going to stick that under. I brought the big jobby out. The big jobby isn't any cleaner than the little jobby, but it's better when you're doing bigger sticking jobs, if you know what I mean. Little wand is great for just putting your small bits on, but when you're having to do a bit of whole scale sticking, oh look, it's not even stuck down there. This should have all been organised. I don't have a secretary to organise it though, so I'm having to do it all myself. I need staff. That's what I need. So anyway, let's just peel this off. You can see I've peeled it off several times already. That's why it's kind of quite easy to come off. But generally I find the bonder web comes off really quick and easy. There we go. That's off. Just pull that out of the way. And I've just got a piece of old fleece that I've cut up that I'm going to use for my backing. Just to give it a little bit of 3D texture when I start to do the actual sewing. Just it gives it a little bit more depth. I do find that with a lot of my bigger projects I tend to just put them onto a piece of interfacing, paper interfacing, because they don't really need that depth on them because they're so big in themselves. I'm just going to use this piece of greaseproof paper that I've just used that has just come from behind it, and I'm just going to put that over just to stop it pulling up. And then lots of ironing. I just want the greaseproof paper just stops individual pieces trying to pull up with the iron at this stage. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera with the iron. It's a bit joggy around where I'm moving the iron around. I thought I had a stable table, possibly not now. With the bonder web I use, I don't need, it doesn't need to be steam, it just needs to be a dry heat, that's all. I'm presuming that the steamer seam needs steam. It's in the clues in the title. But the bonder web doesn't, it just needs a dry heat. Just want to make sure it's all nicely stuck. And then once this is done, I'm on to the sewing again. Just let me know if you want to see the sewing part again, because you know how good I am at it and how much I absolutely hate doing it. But needs must, and it does make a difference. Even I have to admit, it just sort of brings the whole thing alive. I always find gives a depth to it all that you don't get when you've just got that flatness. So as much as I don't really enjoy it, I think I don't really enjoy it because the time I've got to the stage of the sewing, I've kind of thought that I've finished, and then you've got to do all the sewing afterwards, and you're not finished. And because I do quite big pieces, by the time I do get to the end of them, in all honesty, I've had enough of them. And I sort of want to be starting something fresh again. I love starting something new, and by the time you get to the end of it, you know, it's got a bit old. So I should think that will suffice, because after all we are going to be stitching it down, but that's fine, that's all stuck on there quite well. So let me know if you want to see this rank amateur having a bit more of another go at stitching. I think I'm going to, talking of stitching, I think I'm going to use quite a lot of white thread in my background, just to bring out the kind of wintry scene a bit more. But we'll see. So it is a short one tonight, only 7 minutes. You can send all your prizes to me, I don't mind. Bye. It wasn't quite a goodbye because I've suddenly realised I've actually managed to, I didn't look very carefully, and I've lost this purple piece and possibly this piece here have both come across the pattern of my deer leg, which I didn't want. So I'm going to try and take that off, and I find the best way to do it when you've got to this kind of stage is to heat it back up again, and it gets a little bit more pliable, the fabric. So I'm just going to put the iron on that area and try and lift the deer leg from behind this particular pieces of fabric. Nothing ever goes smoothly, does it? You know, it's just a little bit more pliable, I find, with a little bit of heat on it. And I'm just going to use a craft knife just to pull that edge up a bit. I've probably got all my hands in the way, you can't see what I'm actually doing. Just trying to gradually pull that up. There we go. Just a bit of brute force. Just put a bit more heat on it. I'm not quite sure if this piece is over the top of it as well. And this bit, look, this has come over the top as well. Made a right old mess of it, really. But you know, I like you to see my mistakes. There's plenty of them. Like that brown bit under there is just caught on there. will fold back in there. If you have, I do find if you have tiny little gaps, I don't tend to worry about them too much, because when it comes to the sewing, you can just put a few extra stitches in just to cover that over. Because I very much use my sewing machine like a pencil, so I'm outlining things, you know, and because I do the way I design things, I design them in blocks, so that when I start stitching it, those are the blocks that need to have the outline on them, if that makes sense. Because I'm not really using the value system. That bit doesn't really want to come up. I may just leave it as it is. Just try and pull this bit up. It probably would have been quicker for me just to cut some more bits and stick them over the top. Which I may well end up doing. You can see how much it sort of disappeared under. Okay. Right. We're there. So I can now see all of this. Now I've got to try and persuade it to come up off of the backing, so that I can then post it back under. Right, I'm going to get my scissors and just see if I can try and push this back under. So basically what I'm doing here is, you know, I'm showing you what not to do. Let's see how that sits. Back down again. Actually, that's all right. It's come out all right, surprisingly. And it will go even flatter once I get the stitching on it. Whew. Disaster averted. Anyway, that is the end this time. And I've just taken up another 7 minutes just doing that. Sorry.